Back at another YouTube video. It's your boy Uriah G. Today we're going to react to ranking every WrestleMania 41 match from worst to best 2025 match Tiermaker list. Let's get right into the video.
Hello everybody, in today's video we're going to be ranking the WrestleMania 41 matches from night 1 and night 2 all together on one list to determine what was the best WrestleMania 41 match. If you like wrestling content, be sure to sub to the channel. I am a co-host of the Wrestling School podcast, so you definitely want to check out in the links in the description down below for all that funness. Let's go ahead and rank these WrestleMania matches. Starting at number 14, as much as I love these guys, unfortunately I'm going to have to put this as the New Day versus the War Raiders. Even though there was a title change, this match was a pretty standard. It felt like it could have been on Monday Night Raw, and considering that the SmackDown TLC that was teased the week,
Did y'all enjoy WrestleMania this year?
like literally in the go home, put this match in a bad place already out the gate. Now SmackDown TLC match is going to bang, but we really lost that moment, and considering there was a lot of, I guess, collab dressing to it with the Clash of the Clans and all that stuff, really put a sour taste in my mouth. And what did the New Day say? Don't you dare be sour. But unfortunately, this was sour. It was cool to see the New Day actually be heels and go for the actual heel win for the titles. But at the end of the day, this should not have been at WrestleMania. At number 13, the number 13th match.
You guys think it should have been at WrestleMania?
I'm trying to find it here. Is going to
Kind of feels like a pre-show match.
be this one right here. It is a bummer to see Liv Morgan in this situation. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez versus Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. Now, I know Bayley's in the image here, but eventually Bayley was replaced by Becky Lynch. There was rumors that this was the plan all along, but it's not enough for it. And the way the match actually...
You're saying that Becky Lynch, Becky Lynch, I guess, attacked Bayley. That's what they're saying. I'm not sure if that's what their storyline's gonna be.
rolled out, and the placement on the card hurt it as well. To see Liv Morgan, yes, able to hit the Oblivion on Becky Lynch, but Becky Lynch only with one manhandle slam beating the former champion. Not a good look, and it didn't have any kind of the drama and stakes. It unfolded like a standard tag match, and unfortunately Bayley's the one that it sucks to see get left out, considering the year that she had. I mean, I am excited for Becky Lynch's return, but as a match as a whole on the WrestleMania 41 card, it sits at number 13. At number 12, I'm going to go ahead. It's quite interesting to see as well, where do I put these matches when it comes down to the tier listing, but we'll figure that out as time goes on. But at number 12 for the Mania match, I'm looking for it, it's going to be Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. Now, this match was interesting to me because going into it, I was expecting it to be a banger. Like, I was excited that this would be a banger, but unfortunately this match did not live up to the hype, and the lack of a story build was the reason why. This foundation wasn't strong enough to, even despite...
I don't think I watched this full match, but you know, Logan Paul won, so
having some good moments and spots in this match, could not carry it to the finish line. What's actually odd to me is that the most exciting part of this match was Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross was a last-minute addition to this feud. I know he was kind of messing with AJ Styles a little bit beforehand, but he really did feel a last-minute addition. And the wrinkle of, hey, we're trying to save the soul of pro wrestling against this YouTuber, and the kind of the work that Karrion Kross was doing off TV.
Hey, Karrion Kross he interrupted this match. I didn't know that.
For this match, really tried to elevate it higher, having Karrion show up and stop the brass knuckle spot to only then try to turn AJ was kind of cool, but that was it. And to see that the pulverizer was the main thing to save in this match, so to speak, was kind of this deflating. So I'm definitely going to put that at number 12. The 11th match, which I'm going to put in the C category here, is going to be Randy Orton's mystery opponent against Joe Hendry. It was a fun spot. It was a fun pop, fun surprise. This was a showcase. This was definitely fan service, but it did nothing.
I didn't know it was going to be Joe Hendry. Could have been anyone.
To progress Randy Orton's story that he was on. This was just a way to give Randy Orton a match at the his 20th WrestleMania.
He actually, he asked for this. He wanted Joe Hendry to be his opponent.
And it was nice to see Joe Hendry out there. It was a fun pop indeed to sing the song along. But it was a kind of a bummer to see the TNA champion go out like a Dumbo. He was doing his classic Joe Henry turn to the camera and then get RKO out of nowhere. I thought they would be able to give him a spot where he's going to hit his finisher, the standing ovation, and then have Randy kind of RKO him to kind of protect the TNA champion a little bit. But there was so many better options, I think, for Randy Orton than Joe Henry to progress the story of that. We were all wanting to see them do a
And he picked him as his opponent because he liked his wrestling work.
punt kick. You know, I think the punt kick was the most valuable thing out of this moment, and Randy Orton didn't do it. So I'm definitely gonna have to put this at C. It was good fan service, but overall it's ranked number 11. At number 10, the number 10 match, I am technically, if I was gonna do this, it'd be like this. Let me just fix it. At number 10, does that be left to right? Yeah, let's gonna do it that way. Yeah. At number 10, we're gonna put Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. This match was one of those ones where
this match was definitely longer than the Jey Uso match.
did not expect it to get here. The feud finally showed up at the very end. At the first beginning of Rumble, where Charlotte wins, we're like, okay, Tiffany versus Charlotte would actually be a banger of a match. And unfortunately, it didn't deliver. The execution of this match wasn't there. I did enjoy the sloppy wrestling at the very beginning because it felt it was adding to the feud that they were discovering. But after that, when it got into the actual pro wrestling, it wasn't there for me, and unfortunately, it falls flat. It's nice to see Charlotte lose clean against a Tiffany Stratton, and so but it didn't feel like a passing of the baton moment that we were hoping for Tiffany Stratton. At number 9, I'm going to go ahead and give this to Jade Cargill, Naomi. The most exciting part about this match was it was a singles match.
With Tiffany Stratton winning, I didn't think that was going to happen.
With no kind of championship on the line and no stipulation. It was just a singles match between two women, which was really cool. Hasn't happened in 19 years. But Naomi's entrance was cool. New ring music, new entrance, things of that sort. But I was expecting a big kind of squash match or show out from Jade Cargill's, a new layer to Jade Cargill, a little bit of more ring psychology, but it was a typical Jade Cargill match where it was a lot of strong wrestling, which was really neat to see all the strength on display of a showcase. I did like the counters from Naomi, but the match was a little too short, and I expected Naomi to enjoy at least the beatdown she was getting from Jade Cargill, as if it was all part of the plan, but it became a very formulaic Jade Cargill match. At least she was able to perform at this level at WrestleMania. At number 8.
You guys think they'll push Naomi now that she's a heel?
Number 8, I'm going to go ahead and give this to Grande Americano versus the substituted Rey Fenix. I don't know if this match would have been better with Rey Mysterio. This match was cool in terms of the spots that they had, the inverted 457.
I know Jade Cargill will get her push soon though. She gonna be champion.
Senton, or the 450 senton, was nasty from Grande Americano. I still like the heel tactics. I like that the character Grande Americano survives WrestleMania 41, and considering that they did acquire AAA, which is that Mexican promotion, I think there's going to be more plans for Grande Americano. I think what the WWE realized with Grande Americano is they need a heel for Mexican PLEs, especially with AAA. So they already determined that AAA said he's not going to really touch anything with AAA booking, but they are going to have a PLE in June in Los Angeles, and I think Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio would do really well and allow Rey to recover from the injury that he sustained. Number 7. At number 7, I think this will be the top of the C tier, is going to be the street fight between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. This is one of those interesting matches because a lot of the WrestleMania 41 was sponsored, or it had a lot of collabs, a lot of advertising, a lot of marketing, and I felt this one did not need it. Drew McIntyre just looked miserable wearing the Demon Slayer outfit. It kind of took a little bit of his aura. He came out in that Demon Slayer outfit, and you see the splashes of everywhere Doom, the Dark Ages, and then, you know, at least Damien was able to look pretty cool, looking like a demon bat out there. But this match is a kind of like a moment in time where you knew Drew deserved better, and even Damian Priest deserved better considering where he was going. But Drew McIntyre took this side quest detour. It was a hard-hitting car crash, but yeah, man,
I kind of see where they were going, you know, building the storyline. Drew McIntyre, you know, facing Damian Priest, beating him, Damian Priest losing the title. They just had a lot. Because WrestleMania, he was in the picture with CM Punk, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. They were all in the same picture. So I see it's long-term storytelling booking.
It was just like these guys are just going to feud, and then Drew's going to move on, and Damian is just going to, I don't know what he's going to do. I didn't like that there was no kind of launching point for other future storylines or feuds in aspect. It was the end of this one, and I'm glad that this one's over, but at least the match itself was kind of like a really spectacular car crash. There was the moments like the future shock on the stairs, the old school counter by pushing him into the tables outside was nutty, and then the Claymore to the chair was nuts. So I definitely, it was the quality of the match. It kind of,
I don't even think I sat down and watched this full match.
remind me of a Sheamus and Gunther and Drew McIntyre, where they were able to at least put on a solid match. At number 6, I'm going to go ahead and give this one to Jey Uso and Gunther. Jey Uso and Gunther are going to come in at number 6, at least at the B tier level for WrestleMania 41. The match was interesting. I did predict that Gunther would be able to saunter and kind of wear down Jey Uso. The thing that was interesting was how Jey Uso basically just destroyed Gunther at the end. I believe that if they started...
Definitely destroyed him. Like the match, it probably was a good 15-20 minute match, but it felt short. But I liked, he gave him a lot of like splashes from midair. Then he gave him he literally gave him the move that Gunther would give. And he tapped out his own move. I mean, that's a cool way to end it in a sense, but, he kind of tapped out quick too, so.
Started off with Jimmy Uso getting beaten down by Gunther at the onset, we would have been able to build up to that kind of finish. I felt like the finish did not warrant the build. It didn't match. I think starting Jey Uso, again, it was the longest build since Royal Rumble to here. Starting Jey Uso, going against Gunther, having him being built up by Alpha Academy, then being built up by destroying A-Town Down Under, having those issues with his botches that he had, and then having Jimmy destroyed. By the time we got to that point, we had a couple of weeks with promos going back and forth, and the intensity of Jey Uso was nice when he said, bro, I'm gonna, you got to pray. I'm gonna pray for you, Gunther, for the man I'm about to be, and I'm not scared of you anymore. And then we took that detour to Jey Uso partying. Now, the coolest thing in this match was Jey Uso was smiling when he was getting taken down by Gunther. So I wish Jey Uso is brought as a character that he smiles in the face of danger, that he loves it, that he relishes the challenge. And I wish Gunther was still being built up as a super monster heel, so that when Jey Uso slays the dragon, it'd be awesome. This was echoing of Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther. It was the same kind of finish. Ilya Dragunov literally chokes out Gunther in a quick tap, but that finish was massive.
I don't even know too much about that rivalry, but that's a good, statement he brought up. What promotion is that? Is that NXT or is that the United Kingdom thing? What promotion was that? When they had the UK tournament, or is that when they had the is that NXT?
Matching the build and the battles that Ilya Dragunov and Gunther had. The finish of Jey Uso choking out Gunther with a quick 5-second tap did not match the build. You can make the argument that it matched the build because of the brutality of Jimmy Uso going down, but I'm not buying it. But it still was a good kickoff to WrestleMania 41, and I'll put it at number 6. Number 5 is going to be Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena.
And I need to go sit down and watch that match too. Is this match really bad? Is it really a bad match? I mean, I know the finish and everything, but...
The reason why I'm getting it at 5 is just for the John Cena winning the 17th title. I thought this match was a dud. It was anticlimactic. A lot of negative things to be said about this match. I think the best part of this match was the actual wrestling in the ring. I loved heel John Cena using pokes, using strikes, using everything that he can to get booed, but the execution did not stand out for me. The stakes of the match did not stand out for me. It didn't feel like it was for the soul of WWE. I did not enjoy the commentary at the very beginning, a lot of talking. I wanted the air to feel thick and dense. It was a prize-fighting fight. The Las Vegas crowd did show up for it, but the commentary talked through a lot of the drama that was being built up. I was hoping for a Hogan versus Rock situation at Mania, but Hogan versus Rock, what made that special is because Hogan had the ability to execute. Well, first off, John Cena did not want to be face, and Hogan did turn into a face in that match. Both Rock and Hogan switched roles. But Cody and John Cena did not want that to happen. John Cena was doing his best to drown out the Las Vegas crowd, did not let them cheer for him. And so because of that, it felt like it was a 2 matches in one. And then when the shenanigans started and Travis Scott came out representing The Rock, that's where I hold this match down a little bit more. The importance of it, at least with John winning the 17th, was important. And I think this is just a piece to the pie of John Cena saying that he's going to ruin wrestling. But in a nutshell, in a time capsule look back of Travis Scott coming in and not having The Rock really hurt this match a lot. And Travis Scott not being having urgency as well hurt this match.
Should have been somebody else that came out instead of Travis Scott, right?
The ending kind of got derailed. And I gotta kind of, critique John Cena here. When John Cena was begging for his life, it wasn't like Hogan begging. It wasn't like Ric Flair begging. I didn't buy that he was like pleading for his life. And that was a very important moment for me to sell. And he did not nail it like I expected. There were so many heels in wrestling history that could nail that moment of please don't hurt me. I don't want to be hurt. So it's going to be a very polarizing match for sure. I think what's interesting is the WWE disarmed a lot of criticism by having Triple H come out and say, just enjoy the ride, enjoy the movie. And you may be watching and saying, commenting that back to me. It's like, don't be critical and just enjoy the ride. But that doesn't excuse for me where the build of having the Rock at Chamber, selling his soul, John Cena selling his soul to the Rock, it doesn't match Mania. Now, I'm recording this before the Raw after Mania, and that may change, but we shall see. As it stands, for the entire build, I'm going to put it there. At number 4, I'm going to give this to Jacob Fatu and LA Knight for the United States title. This was an incredible
for Jacob Fatu. I kind of figured he was gonna win, but that's glad that they're pushing him to giving him a singles title right now. So
match. This was a showcase for Jacob Fatu, the coming out party for the newest toy for the WWE, for the newest superstar. A great introduction to the casual fan while keeping LA Knight looking strong. LA Knight hitting that BFT off the moonsault counter was insane. Very Randy Orton-esque. And I gotta hand it to it. The match was simple, didn't really do anything fancy, didn't do anything, no false finishes or things of that sort. It protected the BFT and made the WrestleMania moment with the counter. And Jacob Fatu looked strong. LA Knight looked strong, eating 2 of the finishers from Jacob Fatu. And Jacob Fatu looks great with the belt. I think this was a fantastic A-tier match from this WrestleMania. At number 3, I'm definitely gonna give this. I'm gonna put this up here. Unbelievable match.
I can say most triple threat matches at WrestleMania are always the best matches. It depends, because sometimes they're not, but I can say for the most part they're good.
Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. This match was amazing. This match banged. This match, despite its build, did really well. The women showed out. The superstars did a fantastic job mixing the triple threat vibes of having like so much back and forth to it all. I thought it was a great thing. I thought it was amazing. This to me was the proper kickoff for WrestleMania Night 2. The idea of putting Bianca Belair back in the main event was crucial, and I think we kind of got that despite her not winning. I think Rhea Ripley looked great. I think seeing the taste of Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley was very assuring. Io Sky winning like she did her NXT championship was the perfect way to set that up. And I think what the WWE is realizing is Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair chasing the title are best for business, and they do really well. And Io Sky as the underdog holding that top of the mountain is worked really well. I'm surprised that WWE, despite the poor build with the same week in and week out promos of pie facing Io Sky, worked. And I'm hoping that they build Io Sky a little bit bigger and surround her with that power of her faction of Damage Control with Dakota Kai and returning Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane. I think that would do really well. I'm hoping that Bianca Belair moves on to Naomi and Jay to continue to be built up. And I'm hoping Rhea still chases after Io and deals with Bianca too. It's a very great launch pad for everybody, and Io Sky looked great. At number 2, I gotta give it to the Fatal 4-Way of Penta.
I did see this. Did I see some of this? I can't say I did if I didn't, because I did see the Charlotte match. I've seen, what else match did I see? I saw the Randy Orton match. I saw some of the Jacob Fatu match. Oh yeah, I did see some of the I think I saw the full Dominic Mysterio match, but I watched more of night 2. I watched both, but I watched half of each. I didn't watch the full show. When I woke up, I literally saw John Cena holding the undisputed title. Yeah.
Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. Unlike the first triple threat of the ladies, these fellas actually had a story built.
Congrats to Dominic Mysterio winning his first singles title, because I think didn't he win tag gold? I think, I'm not sure.
Together. I love the spectacle of Braun Breaker's fierce physicality, his beast-like behavior, dominating the first half of the match, proving that he is the IC title holder. The Penta being in there, being a wild card rogue that could maybe win this and steal this with a great lucha style. And then, of course, the battle between the two brothers of the Judgment Day of Finn Balor.
What I'm hearing is, okay, Braun Breaker dropped his title. I'm hearing speculation that, which, he had a good, decent reign with that title. I can't say he had a good reign, but he probably will be going for Jey Uso in his world title, which, they had a rivalry before, so yeah, that's what they could go for that.
Balor and Dominic Mysterio. And what made this special is when Las Vegas woke up and the crowd got behind Dominic Mysterio. I love that moment. Those are the kind of things that WrestleMania lives for, is that the crowd kind of adding a spice, a seasoning to it that we will forever remember. Think of Hogan and Rock, like I mentioned before. That crowd was a special part of it. And seeing that this is the first time that Dominic Mysterio is being cheered for, that made this entire night special. It was a swelling of excitement, a swelling of support, and I absolutely love that Dominic Mysterio got the dub. Now, it was same Z from Io Sky doing the same thing, but I didn't mind it. The frog splash is kind of like the perfect way for Dominic Mysterio to get a clean, quote-unquote, win. He did win clean, but he did steal the win, like an Eddie Guerrero. And
now that leads to maybe Finn Balor either turning heel, leaving Judgment Day, or Finn Balor will be Dominic Mysterio's first title defense. Who knows?
The moment was special for him seeing holding up the IC title, and I think the IC title, the mid card showed that it has strength. I do think Penta is going to chase after Dominic Mysterio, and this is going to be another kind of tent pole for that relationship of the AAA and the WWE.
He said Penta, so we'll see.
Collab going forward, and definitely they could have more of that Penta versus Dom mix, and that's going to be great. I think Finn Balor is going to be on ice for a while. I think Finn Balor is going to get kicked out of Judgment Day by the new dominant Dominic Mysterio. I thought Carlito's involvement in this match was cool, and the ending of the saga of Braun Breaker adding, building to greater spears and having a table-to-table spear was nasty. And that leaves Braun Breaker, who absolutely looked like a stud in this match, and Braun Breaker is going to move on to the heavyweight title. I think Braun Breaker and Jey Uso will have a
That's what I was just bringing up. That's what I just stated.
Fantastic feud going forward, and I think it's going to be a banger of a situation for the mid card, considering that Dominic Mysterio, and you kind of got an inkling now how he's going to run that title, considering he was an NXT North American champion, and that one was a pretty solid run for that NXT. And as you can see, leaving the number one is going to be CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. This felt like a WrestleMania moment, It definitely felt like a main event for a Mania.
Which everyone's predictions were right that, Seth Rollins was going to be the one to, leave with Paul Heyman that night. And Seth Rollins won, so it happened.
In Las Vegas, it was the one that if you would have to put it all together and you would have to put WrestleMania as a final moment.
That storyline altogether is amazing. That match, the heel turn, the twists, all the stuff that went along with the match was just spot on.
This would steal the entire card. It would steal Cena 17th. It was so dominant and so strong. It had it all. It had those moments of those combination triple threat. No one really sat on the sidelines too long. Everybody had a moment to shine. Everybody dominated in this match. And the story of the in-ring psychology was told beautifully, where everybody was created equal in this match. All of these top superstars are equal, and it required the rogue Paul Heyman to kind of be that X factor to determine it. I love the fallout of it as well. Seth Rollins being the master architect, figuring out how's the best way to screw over CM Punk and Roman Reigns at the same time. Paul Heyman was that catalyst. For Paul Heyman to return to form, to be the wise man, to be the devil of the WWE, so to speak, was perfect. To having Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman team up is going to be great for the Roman Reigns fans and CM Punk, to give them something to chase, and to where if they can't go after a title, they can't go after the Undisputed, let's go ahead and have them go after Paul Heyman for a little bit or get the revenge. But I think if Seth Rollins continues down this path, it's going to be great for him, because he was getting stale as a babyface, trying to just be like, he was literally being the Lorax. And I've said this so many different times in my podcast as well with the Wrestling School. He was literally being ignored by the WWE. Like, dude, look at this. He's going to do this. Roman Reigns is not good. CM Punk is not good. And everybody was ignoring him, and eventually he was getting booed, and he was being kind of like a heel because he was just annoying. But now he's an actual heel. And I think Seth Rollins as a heel is best for business. Paul Heyman as a heel is.
Who would have ever knew that Seth Rollins would join Paul Heyman one day? But it happened.
Best for business. And this is one of the matches at the end of the day. I would say the S tier that we have here in the top three, I would say those are the banger matches that you need to watch. Like, those are the special matches, and those are the reason what makes WrestleMania WrestleMania. And it's a shame that John Cena and Cody Rhodes is not up there. It should be. But the involvement of Travis Scott really hurt it, and I was hoping for The Rock to make an appearance, because I think that would at least save it and put it at least in the...
Yeah, Rock coming back, that should have happened instead of the Travis Scott. Or they could have just came back together, but who wants to see Travis? They're mad about, Cody Rhodes getting injured and all that. But that was ranking every WrestleMania 41 match from worst to best, 2025 match Tiermaker list. Subscribe, like, comment. Tell me what you guys want to see next in the comments down below. I got more videos coming. Stay tuned. Subscribe, like, comment. I just said that. And yeah, Uriah out.